Hey guys, how are y'all today? I hope everybody's doing well. Good to see you, Sharon. Good to see you soon. I'm glad y'all could pop in today. Let me know you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up or something. Ring the bell, do something. So today, absolutely zero questions came in. That's kind of unusual for you guys. So I'm assuming I'm going to get them live today. Um, I do have some updates for you on Artspira. So this past week was my last trip for business for the year, which I'm thankful for. So now I get to move on to doing, I guess, fun things for myself. Who knows? If you are going to be watching Sewing Machines Plus countdown to Christmas, I guess it is the Monday after Thanksgiving, Cyber Monday, I guess is what that is, the Cyber Monday sale. I'll be doing 2 episodes on that one. I believe one of them is Prep Moda and one of them may be Sketch, I think. Not real. I'll have to go back and look at that, but I have 2 segments on that day. And then the day after that, I have a Brother Facebook Live. So on the Brother Sews channel on that Tuesday after Thanksgiving, I will be doing that. So let's talk Artspira and what is new. They have finally added something in that we've been asking for since it was first released. So I am super excited to share this with you because I do think you all will. This does make the functionality much better in Artspira, which is super exciting. Hold on just a second. Let me share my screen here. And oh, so did Patty win today? Hoo-hoo, Patty, that's exciting. What did we win? I didn't get to watch it today. I was kind of a little busy, so I'm not sure what we were giving away. I had a haircut. Sorry, it was haircut time. All right, so let's go to my Artspira window and hold on just a second. Let me change the view on this for a second. Oh, shoot, I closed it out. Didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Let me do this first. Oh, wow. A $500 gift card. That's sweet. Oh, I did talk to Angela this morning, so I did know we were giving away a gift card. I just didn't know how much it was. So let me come in here to my settings so that y'all don't have to see the frame around this. Okay. Now I can share my screen. And we'll share just that window so y'all don't have to see a ton of stuff. All right. And I'm going to hide myself so we just see that window. Okay. All right. So here we go. If you look at the top of your screen, you'll see a little bell. The little bell tells you that there are notifications out there for you to know something's happening. So I'm going to tap the notification key, and I'm going to show you what is in here. The last update, and you will have to download and install the update, gives you new text features. This is super exciting. You get arc text, circular text, spiral, and vertical text. So I'll show you how those work in a minute. Also, the gallery has been updated to where you can add a description to your gallery post so that you can tell people what your inspiration was, where you got your stuff, and with the community. So the idea is that you start sharing stuff from the community. So I've touched gallery, and I'm going to tap post, and I'll kind of show you how this does. And I will tap the little camera icon and pick from my recents. And here we'll go with this one right here. So this is, we'll call Thanksgiving Sublimation. Thanksgiving table decor. How about that? Oops. And then you can put in, oops, I can't type today. Put in a description of it, and I could go in later on. I'll go back in and I'll edit it to where I put in what designs I used for it and what font I used, but I can't remember that at the time. And we'll just put in sublimation here. All right. And then machine that was used was sublimation. And then I'll go back in later and link the design, and we'll say publish on Artspira and say done. And now that is added in there. So in the gallery, so I'm Cinso in here, just so you know what you're looking for when you look for me. That gives you that capability. Yvonne, I don't know. Honestly, I don't have a clue on your how to answer that for you. I thought Artspira, the free version, was free on for anybody whose country has decided to participate in it. But I don't know about the paid items. I mean, the Disney you would be blocked out of. I will sit here and tell you that that is only US. Okay. So let's go into new and let's go into design editor. And we'll add a design and let's see what we've got in here. Let's go to holidays and see if we have something for Christmas here. Let's see what we have in Christmas. Now on my phone, I was able to make this bigger. That's kind of weird. So it's a little different here on the desk, on your tablet. On my phone, I could make these little icons bigger. Let me see. I didn't go through here and decide on anything specific. Just so you know, this little guy right here, there is a matching one to him. It is a freestanding lace ornament, and the matching one to it is this part right here. When you put them together, once you've stitched them both together, it makes a freestanding lace ornament. They are just separated out. I'm not sure why they're separated out, but they're separated out. Let's see here. Let's go with this one. Now we'll come in here and we will tap text and we will add text in here. And I'm just going to say go, and I'm going to tap my text. So now I'm going to move it to the top, and down at the bottom we have a new button for text, and it's the transform button. So this is where you can transform your text. And if I choose circle text, it will let me enter a lower text. But I've got to have that first one in, the first line in first. So now we can take that and move it up, make it bigger. And then if you want to, you can come in and change the font style, which I think I will change my font style. Let's see here. Kind of like Cairo. What else do we have that's free? Not on that, not crazy about that one. I'll tell you some of my favorites. Vermont's pretty. But I do like Florida Medium. It's not a free one, but I do like it. I like Cairo. And I like Belgium. And I like Atlanta. I don't know how they got Atlanta instead of Atlanta, but there you go. Then you can come in and change your font color. So you can put whatever color in there you want. But as always, guys, you know that your machine does not know what color you have in there. It is not going to spit it back out. Okay. Now, let me delete that text. And let's just come in here and add in Happy Holidays all in one string. We'll say done. There's my text. Now let's go back into transform. You have spiral text. So if you do spiral text, you can increase that curve. Do you see how I'm doing that slider? And let's go in and let's add some more text to that. So let's go into font and go back to the keyboard. Happy holidays to all of your family, friends, and family. We need more text than what we had in there. So now you can see the spiral in there. Obviously, that would not be something I would want to put on top of my little ornament here. I just put the ornament on there so you can see the art text. But that allows you to adjust the spiral. And when you go back into transform, you can increase the curve and decrease that curve. So depending on what you've got going on, what you want to do, you can change that. Now, if I change, let's delete this and let's just go back to happy holidays. I'm not going to delete the whole thing. I'm going to go back into my keyboard and I'm going to back out of all of that except for happy holidays. And we'll say go. Now go back into transform and let's slide to where we scroll and we tap vertical text. Oops, wrong way. You have just arc. That's weird. We don't want that. Default. There we go. So go back to default and then vertical text will give you vertical text. I hadn't played with that little feature. So that gives you that capability, just letting you know that that is in there. And I think they have done, that's something we've been asking for quite a while. So I was super happy to see that came in. If you just want to arc something, we do need to take off the vertical on that. You can just arc it. And once again, if you're just arcing, you can adjust that text. You can go opposite direction. That's kind of cool. And you can adjust your character spacing. You can increase it or decrease the space, and you can change the size right there. Some of the other things you may not realize that they have done recently is, and this works, it's not just embroidery. So if I cancel out of here and I discard and I go back to new and we say cutting and we say design editor again, when I go into text, text, and say go, there we go. When you have those transform tools here as well. So you have your arc text, you have your circular text, and you have spiral text there as well. And when you go to default and change it to vertical, you now have vertical text. So just kind of keep that in mind. You do have options now that you can play with that are quite fun. You do not have the same fonts here that you have you have some of the same fonts, which is kind of nice, but not all of them are the same, exact same. Okay. So those are the new updates. Okay, popping back over here. Let's see here. Yep, Joanne was definitely on SMP Takeover Tuesday this week. Yeah, and I honestly, I don't know. I think it's US. If US and Europe have the ability to purchase the Artspira Plus. I don't know what Canada's doing there. I'm not sure why they don't have that capability at the time. Add-ons for the scan and cut should work regardless because those are linked to your Canvas workspace account. What you can't add on is Disney. I mean, truly, you can't add Disney on that. That is the big thing. So just keep that in mind. The gallery is available to you in Canada. So Vicky's telling us that the free version works in Canada. You just don't have the Artspira Plus yet. I have a feeling that will come. It's just when they decide to opt in. One of the things that the US has done is that we have given you the ability, for those of you that don't realize this, I'm going to cancel and discard this. On the homepage, you now do have Disney. Why is this big? It's Disney in cutting and in embroidery, and you can select it and purchase them one at a time. So it is tied to whatever machines you have in your Artspira app at the time. Not necessarily, you're not limited to 3 machines forward. It's to whatever you have in your Artspira app at the time, is my understanding. But so, and you're purchasing them one at a time. So if I say purchase this one, and I'm pretty sure the $4.99 is my Artspira Plus price. But I don't know. I think this is like 15% off, 10 or 15% off for me because I have Artspira Plus. That one's actually quite cute. I haven't gone through here and delved into all of these to see what we've got. But you do have, let's see what cute princesses look like. So these are like young versions of our princesses. Then you have Disney Christmas. Ooh, I like that one. That one's quite cute. So, but that is US only. We are the only ones who have that. Now, let's talk about what else is here. So, you have a new free issue of Artspira. I have not looked in here yet to see what is in here. You have a new collection of the month. You have these are the new projects in the free version. If you go to this week's or last week's, this is the non-free issue. And these are the different projects that they've put in here this month. And these are the collections of the month that paid people get. Well, the earrings are kind of cute. So, I mean, just keep in mind that stuff is always there. You also have new paid embroidery designs. Ooh, that one's cute. Then you have new free embroidery designs as you scroll through here. These are always changing. Then you've got new paid cutting designs, and then you have new free cutting designs. And then same thing with sublimation. So each week you have free sublimation templates. These are for cups for the most part. And then you have new paid templates. Those are for embroidery, it looks like. And then you have free design templates for embroidery. And there's a little bit of everything in here. So just kind of keep that in mind that stuff is there. They tell you what's popular now. So you're always going to see something new in here. They are working on this constantly. Okay. And yeah, I do think those tools are now nice. Guys, I've shown you what I truly love to do with Artspira. My favorite feature to use is the drawing tool in it. And it's free. This part is totally free. If I go into drawing tools, the only thing that's paid is if I connect the lines automatically. I have mine turned off, so I'm not going to have a fill. That is, if I choose to have a fill, then it's not free. Okay. But if I'm wanting to sign something, I can simply sign. And I find it easier to do that here than on my Luminaire. It gives those people who do not have my design center on their machines the capability of actually signing their own projects. And if you know you're going to do it in a 4x4 hoop or smaller, if you want to make sure it's small, then I'll choose a 3x3 hoop. That way, oops, I got a little excited there. That way, I can kind of get a perspective of what it's going to look like in that hoop. You can do the zigzag stitch or the running stitch. You do not have the capability yet of changing the thickness of your zigzag. It is what it is, okay? But that gives you that capability of drawing it. You could also draw your own artwork. Now, obviously, I'm not the best drawer in America. There are new templates that are always being added in here. These are available. If you go to the beach, these are your beach. You'll notice if it has a crown on it, once again, it's a paid item. If it doesn't, then it's free. But they're always adding into everything. This will be kind of fun to play with. That's a freebie. And so let me cancel this for just a second and let me undo what I drew. So let's come back in here and let's see how we could use that. Let's go to celebrations, and where were those ornaments? We'll tap that and touch insert. That can be resized if you want it to be resized, and then you could come in here with a running stitch and sign people's names in it. Oops, undo. I didn't get the running stitch picked. That looks like rinse, so let me undo that one. Let's change my smoothing level to where it's not smoothing it quite so much. Oops. That looks better. So you could come in here and adjust that. If I had changed my color of text for it to begin with, I could do it. And yes, it is very much like Design Center. So it's truly like Design Center. And yes, Patty, on the tablet, it is super nice to be able to rotate it to where it's oriented a different direction. Now, I am going to cancel out of all that and discard. So I'm coming back to see if you guys have any questions. Because, as you know, I've been traveling. So, gonna have to help me out here a little bit as to what you want to see this week. Nope, nothing exciting. Let me stop sharing my screen so that I can turn that down. All right, then let's see here. Let's see what we have. NBES Blue for a minute. You guys are going to have to help me out here. Present. Share screen. Let's do entire screen over there. Let's see what we have for holidays. Let's go in and add design, and let's see what we have holiday-wise in here. Bum, 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 bum. Nothing exciting. I'm going to show you all some shortcuts here in a second if I can find some. Let's see what we have. Oh, I'm in BES. BES Blue. I meant to be in BES Silver, but that's okay. Designs. All right, so we don't have any holidays in there. So let's come over to Canvas Workspace. All right, so my theme for a couple of weeks from now is Christmas stockings. So I was thinking about, this is a free Canvas Workspace project. Now, I do not want the rhinestones portion of this. But I'm going to come in here and go into my artboard, and I'm going to make my artboard different. I got to get out of this menu. Come give me my artboard. Why are you not? Oh, duh, it's right there. I want to change it to custom size for tiling. So now I can come back in and go back to that project and bring in the other parts of it and pull those over. Because this is my thought process. I actually want to make this into one piece. And to do that, I would need to resize everything to the same size. So I'm going to kind of give you all my thought process on this one. I think that's pretty close to where I need that to be. So how would I do that? I would weld it together. So I would go into my properties window and properties. Actually, get out of this. Let's grab both of those and let's weld them. Oh, you know why? Because there's some things in there that don't need to be in there. So let's come in first of all and get rid of the star, because I don't need that star. And let's get rid of the other star. Oh, actually, let's get rid of all those. Delete. There we go. So now that should let me grab that, go back into my edit menu, and now let's see if it'll let me weld it. It does not like it. So something is on there that it doesn't like. Oh, that little line. Okay, so let's come in and let's go back into our menu here, and let's find that little line right there. Delete that little line. Now let's try it. Weld me. There we go. So now I have my basic stocking shape. And if I look at this and this, that would be the top of my stocking or the inside. Let's see here. What are we doing? I may have to pay attention to how the stocking was made. That would go right there in theory, right? So we're going to resize everything before we go with it to where it fits on a 12 by 12 mat. So let's go back into our mat, change it back to a 12 by 12 so we can work on everything at the same time. And really, I just want the width of that to be able to fit in a 12 by 12, and it can. I can actually make it even bigger. Oh, yep, still. So that could work. And then I would cut these separately. I just need to be, that shape right there needs to be in the 12 by 12 mat. So if we take this all and we export it, so the blue things are, it is going to actually, what am I trying to say? The blue is going to draw. If we go back into that project and I go back to, let's go to just search stocking. Here we are, rhinestone decorated stocking. So if we look at this, it will tell us how we're supposed to make the project. We'll open it up and see what those pieces are, so we understand what we've got going on. I knew I didn't want to do the rhinestones. I will probably add some embroidery to it. But, okay, so there it's telling you to draw it, and you're going to cut it. And then you're going to sew this piece right here to this piece right here, which gives you that. And that's the same thing. But what's that other little piece? Ah, that's the fabric for the lining. Okay. So that's interesting. So that's your lining. So it's, the lining is probably slightly smaller. I don't know that I'll line mine, but you could. So it's, oh, maybe that's the tab. I guess I'll have to read that a little bit more, but if I took that into P design, let's do P design instead. Scan and cut. Let's export that first. Let's hide the side pieces. Okay, now let's export this. And we're going to call it stocking. And we'll save it. Okay. We could take it into BES Blue. Let's do P design first. It'll be easier. We're going to go import, and we are going to go to my downloads, first of all, to find out where it is. Would be there. And there's the stocking. It obviously is quite a bit bigger than what I have here. Now, depending on whether I want to hand sew this or whether I want to embroider it will depend on how big I could make it. If I did this on my 10 needle, I could do it in the jumbo frame. So I could change it to the jumbo frame, and then I wouldn't have to resize anything. If not, I would probably want to resize everything in Canvas Workspace once again before I did this, because I need it to fit in a hoop that will fit in my machine. And that size right now, if we look at it, is too big to fit in. Let's change that back to inches. Too big to fit in my biggest hoop, because it is 11.43 by 11.37, and that is too big to fit in the luminaire. That would be the largest one, so that would not be ideal. So I resized it too big for myself. So let's come back over here and turn everything back on. So I've got it all back on, and let's shrink it down a little bit more. That may be too far shrunk. It's about 9 inches. That looks good. Now I'm going to hide those guys again. And one more time, we'll export it again. And I'm going to call it the same thing. And let's delete it, and let's bring it back in. So now, if I want to turn this into an applique to where I can hand stitch it together, I can go to my Home tab. I can touch the Applique Wizard, and I would change this to just a running stitch, really. So I'm going to put a blanket stitch on it because I'm not really going to do any of this. We're going to replace, and we're going to say okay, and then I'm going to change that blanket stitch. If I come to the end piece here, I would change that to a running stitch. So I would place my fabric down and stitch this line, place my fabric down and stitch this line, and I can have 2 of them stitched together, and then the last time. But now if I were having my scan and cut this, let's get it in a regular size hoop. Oop. If I were going to have my scan and cut this, then I would actually, when I pick my piece and I go to the Scan and Cut tab and I say export, I would add an offset. So I would take it up to where it was slightly larger. And my last part, so that I did not sew it all together, I would go to my select tool. Oops, let's ungroup. We do have to ungroup in order to make this work. Select tool, select point tool. I would split it point right here and open that top line. That way it would not sew it closed. That's how I would do it. Okay. All right. So, BES Silver is not going to be wireless, Terry. You would have to go through P Design 11 or through Design Database Transfer. That's how you would get them there wirelessly. But it will not have P Design, excuse me, it will not have a wireless card in it. That is, it will not speak to the internal wireless card either. Okay. Where are you trying to do that, Cindy? Gonna have to help me out here a little bit. So what else might I do to my stocking? So this is kind of one of those things that I was thinking about. If I want to quilt it, I would grab this little piece right here. And I'm going to tell you this little trick right here, what I would do. I would touch background fill and cross hatch stripe and tap the inside. So this would be an easy way to cross hatch quilt it. I would basically make it space at quite a bit apart. Let's see what that looks like. That's pretty good. So I've automatically quilted my project immediately without having to do too much work. Let's see what it looks like at 2 inches apart. It doesn't let me go to 2. 1.96 is as close as I can get. I think I like 1.5. But that would let me go ahead and quilt it, the whole thing, before I actually put it together. I would do 2 of those and have them stitched together just like that. Then I would go ahead, actually I'd probably have my other top piece stitch on it as well. Right now we've got this all grouped together. Let's group the whole kit and caboodle first. And let me go back to Canvas Workspace. I am doing this on the fly, guys. I did not have this plan in mind today. That is why I'm a little discombobulated here. And I'm really not sure what that one is. So we're going to kind of ignore it for now and use this guy. And we'll export it as the stocking top. Band. There we go. Stocking band makes more sense. So let's come over to P Design again and let's import that FCM. And I'm going to actually start back with the base. We're going to start back at the beginning. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Now let's bring this down a little bit. And I'm going to put a placement stitch down for this guy so that I can do this all at one time in the hoop. So let's take a shape tool, grab a running stitch tool, and we're going to go from one side to the other. I'm holding my shift key down. That's going to be my placement stitch. And I'm going to shorten it just so that I make sure I'm the same on each side. Otherwise, it'll look a little weird. I may stitch it a little bit further over, but this way I know it's going to be in the right manner. And let's go ahead and change the color of that to a different color. Let's make it a light green. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of letting you get that in there. So now let me come and grab, where did I put that? Grab that piece right there. We would not actually stitch that piece at this point. We would grab that stitch that we just made and we would go to the home tab and we would select it and we would copy it and paste it right on top. And I am going to change the color to a different color because that would stitch it down. All right, so then you would flip it. And we're going to make that line just a little bit longer. Then you would flip it up. That would work. All right. And it would tack that down. Okay. I'm thinking this through as we go. So then I would want to take this piece and we would copy it. And we go to the home tab and we would paste it or Control V, either one. So I've got it copied, but I've got two of the same color. So let's make this a different color. And we're going to put a fill stitch on these two, but just simply because we are going to change it from not sewn to a fill stitch so that we can merge those together. I would go modify overlap and merge those two together. And guess what? Now if we take and turn off that fill stitch, you now have your, it's going to stitch the whole kit and caboodle together. If you wanted to, you could add a little tie off there, but that would get the whole kit and caboodle to sew together. Now let's see here. What hoop size can I put this in? Is it the right size? I've got a 10 by 10. Let's do the 10 and 5/8 by 16. I'm betting we can get it in there. There you go. Sweet. You now have a stocking. I think it is too, Terry. I think it's for the band, and we could always pop that in there before we flipped it. But that would sew two of those together. Actually, on the first one, you wouldn't sew this part, but the second set of that you would. And then let's see here. What do we have in here? Holidays. You can put anything you want to in here. You can put somebody's name on it. You can play with it. Do whatever you want to with it, guys. Okay. That's my theory of how I think I'm going to make this work, but I mean, there's always other things. All right, so you're wanting to make bookmarks. You want nap control 2 times. So you want one to angle. Let me look. So, and we're talking BES4, so my BES silver will work for this project. Let's see here. I'm just going to add a circle here just because I'm trying to think of if this will work. We'll go tools and we'll do nap control because I'm not sure if, I don't remember. And now let's delete our original shape. So you're wanting to rotate the angle. Yes, it looks like we can. So if I go home and I copy and paste, let's see here if we change this to 90 degrees. So I don't know that it made a huge difference. Oh, I just copied, hold on. Yeah, undo. All right, so let me copy and paste the fill. Now let's change that to 90 degrees and see if it makes a difference. Yes, it works. So it's the angle that you change. Now I'm not, okay, so here's the deal with freestanding lace. It has to be interlocking, and I am not sure if these would interlock or not. So if we view and we go look at the stitch points, they have to all nab together. Let me zoom in and see. Your stitches have to interlock, and I'm not sure that that does exactly what you're wanting it to do. Let's see if we undid the rotation and let's change it to 45. Nope. Let's change it. Undo. I don't think it's going to let me change my pattern length. It lets me change my stitch length. I mean, it will be challenging to make it interlock. It's so yeah, it was flimsy. So yeah, it's it's only going to run once. So you might have 2 rounds of it on each angle and see if you can make it heavier. I will sit here and tell you when we first got net fill in PE design, I was so excited because I thought we were going to have easy way to do a super easy way to do freestanding lace, and it didn't work out that way because if in PE design, the net fill, let's just open a new window of this. So we'll do a rectangular shape here. So I thought for sure if I did net fill, and like you were doing, just get multiples of it. Let me get out a realistic preview. Oh, we changed load save defaults last time. I thought for sure I would have interlocking freestanding lace, and it did not do that. I was some bummed when I realized that because the stitch points don't line up. So these are my stitch points, and see how they don't interlock. That kind of blew that one out the window. Even if I copied and pasted, I couldn't make them interlock. So that was the bummer on that one. But because I thought for sure we had a fast and easy way to do that, and it just did not work. Even if I change that second one to a different way, it does not work. So yep, Terry, that was my plan. So what I've got, that first part without the stitch around it, that would actually be the second hoop. So I would go through steps. If I go back to my stocking. So if I go through steps 5. That, and I could still tag that down, but then I would need to make this one to put them together. I would need to create an offset and bring it in a little bit. So go inward and maybe 0.4 inch, 0.6. Let's see what 0.6 does for me. Yep, that's what I would do. So make it just slightly inside that covering stitch line, the original covering stitch line, so that on my second one, they would go together without seeing that other line. But yes, that's my plan, is to try to do it all. And I would do the front side and the back side, and then stitch them together with this guy right here. So the second one, I would just lay the first one down on top of it and stitch that together. That is my theory anyhow. All right, guys, y'all are not very chatty Cathy today. You're making me use my brain. I'm not used to using my brain, especially after being on a trip. All right, so I do not have this set up yet, but I will put my winter decorative fills and fall. Actually, I'll put all the decorative fills on sale. Let me see here if I can give you a coupon code for this week. All right, there you go. I will put this on. I'll make this good when we get off of here, because I do not have it set up just yet. But I will make that one good to go. So that your coupon code will be 15% off. 15 off, Cindy, on any collection. I'm copying that in here. Okay. And it doesn't matter. All lowercase works. I typed in uppercase O, and it doesn't need to be an uppercase O. It'll be all lowercase. But I'll make that one active when we get off of here. Any other questions? If not, then send me those questions in for next week, and I will get to working on those. I hope to see you next week before we all head off to Thanksgiving. So I'm not going to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, because there's still one more show before Thanksgiving. And then I'll see you after Thanksgiving. So you guys have a great rest of your week. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see what you said in here. Use the draw feature, convert to run through, and design. Okay, that would probably be good. Like I said, I haven't tried crisscrossing it to see how it comes out, but we'll test that theory one day. You let me know how that works out for you, because that's how you would change the angle of it, and that would be the closest way that you could get them interlocking. Okay. All right, guys. You have a great rest of your week, and maybe you'll get to see the prototype of my stocking by next week, because I think that's where I'm going with this. Trying to decide what I want to put on it, because I mean, I will have an in the hoop stocking, but what do I want to actually put on it? Y'all weigh in on that one. What decoration do we want to put on it? Should we put snowflakes on it? Should we put just a name across the center? I'm not sure. Can't decide what I want to do. Weigh in on that. Let me know. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your week, and have fun with the new Artspira features. I shall see you next week. Bye-bye.